And when he left for greener pastures on the Bayou, he left a pretty good recruiting class as well. Could be their highest class finish in 9 years. Right around the top 5, certainly in the top 10. And as we look at this recruiting class, let's welcome in the new head coach of Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman. Coach, thanks so much for being with us. I know it has been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. How would you describe it, becoming the new head coach and having the early signing period?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's been a whirlwind. And to think 2 weeks ago I would be the head coach at Notre Dame wasn't something that really many people thought was feasible, but it happened. You know, we had change and I was presented with this opportunity, and I couldn't be more thankful and grateful and excited to lead this football program.
So, Coach, there was a lot of questions about what was going to happen. When you got the job and you talked to those recruits that were committed to Notre Dame, what was the first thing that you told them?
Well, the reason you committed to Notre Dame wasn't because of one person, right? The reason you decided to come to Notre Dame is because of the opportunities it presents you on the football field and obviously later in life. And so that's what I wanted to reiterate to these young men, is that this isn't about who's the head coach. This is about your commitment to this university and what this university is going to do for you as you move forward. And so I just wanted them to reiterate. I wanted to reiterate that to them and them to get a better feel for who I was, especially these offensive guys who really didn't know me. They didn't know me at all. And they may have seen me before and we shook their hand, but I wanted to get into their homes and let them know, hey, you can trust me. And trust is earned over time. But I wanted to start that process right away.
No, Coach, you kind of touched on what I was going to ask you about. You know, you're no longer the defensive coordinator, and you're certainly not the head coach of the defense. You're the head coach of the entire football team now. And so that interest from a recruiting standpoint in every position, regardless of what side of the football they are on, how has that shifted or maybe changed under this short tenure of your leadership as you head into this early signing period?
Well, again, all my focus was before 2 weeks ago was on the defensive side of the ball. And, hey, what did we need defensively? And I knew we needed to attack the position of linebacker, and we did that signing 4 guys, at that position. But as then you become the head coach, I said, hey, who are the guys that we want to try to keep? And it was everybody. And so we obviously wanted to attack a position of offensive line. We signed 5 guys today. But it wasn't about reevaluating anything. It was more so about, hey, let's just keep this class together. And then as after signing day like today, now let's move forward and be able to reevaluate our current roster and see, hey, what positions or what spots do we need to fill? And is that in the transfer portal? Is that, hey, another guy that maybe hasn't signed that's in high school? Or maybe that's a class of 23. But it's all about trying to understand now the big picture, right? It's not just one side of the ball, but what your entire roster needs.
Marcus, before we let you go, I know this morning at your news conference talking about recruiting, you mentioned name, image, and likeness and how that's something that Notre Dame is going to have to use. How do you draw the line between allowing a recruit to understand that he can get an endorsement without using it as an enticement, which they have deemed you can't do? How do you navigate this?
Yeah, it's a very tricky path. And so we have to make sure we understand the rules. And we're not even going to get close to that line and entice any of these student athletes with name, image, and likeness. But we also got to know that it's real. And we also got to let them know that, hey, there's opportunities out there. Even though we can't be the one to facilitate it, there are opportunities. And we got to let them know that obviously the brand of the University of Notre Dame is as big as it gets. And so whatever opportunities you're going to get at any other place, you're going to definitely have those opportunities at Notre Dame.
Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame head coach. Congratulations on everything. Hope you get to catch your breath here over the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk to you again. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.